7:29. It's 11:20 KPNW. Beautiful day. Hey, welcome back.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having us back. I appreciate it.
This is your return visit. For somebody that isn't familiar with liquorlist.com, talk about it and how it came to be with where you were at the time.
A couple of years ago, there was a major online outfit that used to allow the sale of collectible. We're talking higher end collectible stuff that you wouldn't normally find in a local liquor store. They used to allow the sale of it, and they stopped doing it after several years. And there was no place online for enthusiasts, one single place to come together and buy, sell, and trade collectible adult beverages. There was forums, specific Scotch forums and whiskey forums and wine forums where people would kind of do a little bit of that, but not a single place. And the thought occurred to me that there needed to be one. And basically, I mentioned the idea to Carol, and she is pretty much the reason why it got put into motion, and we did it, and it took about 6 months to develop the site, and we went live last September. We, as liquorlist.com, we don't buy or sell or trade anything. It's just a venue, sort of like a Craigslist for adults.
So you're like the guy that owns the flea market and everybody else brings the stuff.
They bring their tables. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. Carol's over there pointing at me going, yeah, but yeah.
It's 100% free to post. We don't make any money off the listings. There's no commissions. We don't make any money off that. We basically are trying to generate foot traffic for the advertisers, the commercial advertisers that you see in a sidebar of a typical website like ours.
Sure. So that's how it's monetized.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the stuff that gets traded, sold, however, the folks that have it. I mean, you've got some stuff on there. You were telling me there's a $33,000 bottle of, is it Scotch?
Macallan, 62-year. Yeah, there were 400 bottles of it made, and they commissioned some very famous artist at the time to actually hand cut the crystal bottles that the Macallan went in. And we currently have a bottle on there right now that was listed by a New York investment firm at $32,000. Originally, when they sold them, they were $25,000. So they're, hoping to turn $1 or $2, I think, on.
Well, it's an investment firm.
Yes.
That has 33. So there are people out there that actually typically, is it one of those things, I mean, they buy it as an investment? In other words, it sits in a shelf or in a box somewhere? Or does somebody buy that and just say, what the hell, I'm just going to tie one on?
Buffett might buy it and tie one on with it, but I can't imagine too many people spending $32,000 or $33,000 on a bottle. In fact, that bottle in question, I had emailed the people and asked them if I could see a picture of the bottle front and back, because I wanted to post. It's still sealed in the original packaging, and they won't open it, so it's kept put away.
Wow.
There's some lower price stuff on there. There's a gentleman in Dubai.
Lower than 32.
Yeah, there's a gentleman in Dubai who listed a $4,000 bottle of Pappy Van Winkle, which is a pretty famous bourbon right now. We have one of the kind of the neat things on there. There's a West Vleteren, if I'm pronouncing that right, West Vleteren beer that's made by monks over in Belgium. It is considered the best beer in the world, and the only way you can buy it is if you go to the Abbey and back your truck up and load up cases of West Vleteren. There's one gentleman in California who is actually selling 6-packs of it on liquorlist.com, and it's the only place I have found on the web where you can buy it in the U.S. currently is on liquorlist.com. It's called West Vleteren Ale.
So talk about, I mean, people might be surprised, somebody out there, that you can actually do that. What kind of, as far as the exchange and the transaction where somebody buys something, I mean, what happens here? Just
like Craigslist or the way eBay used to be, we are purely offering the venue. The transactions go completely between buyer and seller. And just like anything, you just got to do your due diligence on who you're buying and selling from. And we now have a number of established sellers that people, you grow to trust the regular sellers that are selling quite a bit of collectible adult beverages on there. There's not just booze, liquor on there. There's furniture. There's a guy in Kentucky selling whiskey barrel furniture. There's a lady in Los Angeles selling beer winch necklaces and brooches.
Beer winch or wench?
Wench. What did I say?
Okay.
Winch?
Yeah.
Beer winch? Well, that,
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Boy, there is a pretty good mix. There's some collectible type stuff, Oh yeah, there's a guy in Germany who's selling extremely beautiful steins. I mean, just works of art, really. There's folks that list events. You got upcoming wine tastings or.
Carol should jump on a microphone.
Yes, she should.
So one of the reasons why we wanted to have you in, because a week from Sunday is Father's Day, and I was thinking for somebody out there that maybe you want to do something special, and the tie's already been done, and you've already got the cheap cologne, all that cliche stuff. What if you wanted to go something kind of upper end, and we're not talking about anything $4,000 or more, but for maybe a good scotch or a vodka, if they have a varietal that they enjoy, somewhere they could go and maybe kind of do something nice for Dad.
Well, as far as the scotch, you can't go wrong with a 12-year Glenfiddich, I think. And it's not going to break the bank. Reasonably priced. It's pretty good tasting for the folks that are into the scotch scene. And
Glenfiddich is positive.
Yeah. Now I know this isn't Bill's favorite, but these cinnamon bourbons and mashes are getting very popular, I think probably among younger folk.
If you like drinking cleaning fluid.
Well, it'd be good in hot chocolate, maybe.
Nah.
This is only the regular Jim Beam, but there's a Jim Beam that's being sold now that's called Devil's Cut, and that is a very special Jim Beam bourbon and very, very tasty.
Devil's Cut?
Yes. The Devil's Cut is when they age it in the barrels, it's the bourbon that has soaked into the wood, and it's aged, and it's picked up more of the wood tones and the nut tones and that sort of thing into the flavor. And they actually reclaim that bourbon out of those barrels, out of the wood, and it's called the Devil's Cut.
Yeah, I just saw a commercial for it last night.
Okay, it's the opposite of what they call the Angel's Share, which is the stuff that evaporates as it's aging into the air. And it is top notch, and it won't break the bank either. It's very tasty. And this, standby, you got to have some sort of a tequila. I would go with a Patron if it were me, but the Cuervo, that'll.
Would you bring Cuervo in?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Absolute. You can't. There's so many different flavors and varieties of Absolute. I think that you got to be able to find something that would be.
What about local?
Local?
Anything locally that's...
there is a rum that is being produced down in Charleston, just out there by Coos Bay, the Devil's Own. And if you ever get a chance, you're in the area down there, stop in. They do tastings daily. We were invited down by the distillers to get a little tour before they actually opened up to the public, and it was very good. It's at about I think about a $35 price point.
Not bad. No,
not bad, and it was very smooth. It was something you could drink neat, not worry about it, sip on it, or mix it.
Seems to me that isn't there is it a vodka distillery that's in Monroe?
There is. That's the what's the name of that outfit?
Sorry, I'm just
I can't remember the name.
Anyway, it's in Monroe. Go there, buy vodka.
Yeah, there's a number of Hard Times Distillery.
Yeah.
Hard Times, yeah, and they're popping up all over the place, and some of these outfits are making some really good, some really tasty beverage.
I have to say that when my brother was here before he left for overseas again, we went over to the coast, and the Rogue Brewery over there, they now have a distillery. And as much as I love their beers, their whiskey,
I haven't tried it yet.
it was one of those. Okay, yeah, I had that.
You did it. You lived to tell about it.
You did it. You lived to tell about it. I think the stuff just needs to age for years, but it was.
That makes a big difference as the aging.
Yeah.
There was a vodka out of Portland. I want to say it's something like Meadoff. It starts with an M. and they filter it like 100 times. It's pretty smooth. But
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it? I haven't tried
Crater
it.
Lake, a lot of fans of Crater Lake. So there's different ways you could go. You could definitely go mainstream or kind of go off the beaten path.
Well, and you know what a lot of the smaller craft distillers are doing now? They age their spirit in a barrel, smaller barrels like this, and it actually ages 6 to 10 times quicker than when you age it in a larger barrel. So you can get the same color, the same flavor by aging in the smaller barrels in just a few months. It's kind of a neat deal. A lot of people are doing that now.
Good to know. Are you a daddy?
I am.
Okay. Happy early Father's Day.
Well, likewise.
A week early. Liquorlist.com. Anything that people need to know about imparting?
Would love anybody to go in and check it out. List things. It's not just all about liquor. You can list job opportunities. It's kind of a neat deal.
Good stuff. Hey, thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Have a great weekend. Liquorlist.com. Denial and Carol on 1120 KPNW.